I'm almost at the end of my paper. Just take a little bit of time, a little bit of patience. It's a lot of lines. You have all your half inches. So this paper is 12 inches and you made each line, so you made quite a bit of lines. So on the top of your paper, you're going to number each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17. So I have 24. Now that I'm done with this part, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to flip over my paper and I'm going to make some fun designs. So I'm going to use my ruler. This time I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to lay my ruler across. Actually, I'm going to make a line as thick as my ruler. So I'm using the width of my ruler. I don't always have to. I can change it up, just as long as I'm making my lines parallel. And parallel means the same distance in all, so I kind of have to move it very carefully, make sure I'm doing it parallel. So like see this one, I decided to line it up all on those holes right there in my ruler, so I have a thin line right there. Did it again. I'm going to do the center now of my holes, so now I know that I'm parallel. Another big one. And another big one. I like this part of it. Okay. Next thing is I'm going to take my paint sticks and color away. Now these paint sticks only take about like 90 seconds to dry. And it's okay if you go over the line. These are okay if they overlap. All right, now that you are all done coloring, I even put some white lines in there. I kind of wish I would have like even left some white. Would have been kind of fun. I'm gonna get my Sharpie now that it's all dry and draw some lines in there where I had my lines, my colored lines. This one's a little messy, so I'm gonna make that a little cleaner, and I'm using my ruler to have a straight edge. And it's okay if you don't want to do this part, you can leave it just as is, how you have it. But this just creates more movement when you're doing your line. I'm going to put a line right in the middle of that, just for fun. Some colors that I really love next to each other is always the red and the yellow, and I always love orange and blue next to each other too. Okay, our next step is to flip over our paper. Now we have 24 of these. So what we really have to do is we need to cut out number 12. We're going to start out with the center of this piece. So I have number 12 cut out. I'm going to place my 13 to 24 on the side so I don't get that confused. I'm going to get my blue paper, and I can either measure, but I like to do this too. This is a little trick, is I fold my paper in half just a little bit and I make a little tiny kink on the top right there, so that tells me my center is right there. Or we could get a ruler and do it. So I'm going to put my piece of paper as best I can in the center there. And this was paper number 12. So let's make sure my number's there. So my numbers are going to be all lined up down the bottom. Get my glue stick. 12 on the bottom. There's my center. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to cut out number 11. Can't do it that way. I'm gonna follow my line. Glue it, and my number is down here, and I'm gonna move it just a little bit open. So I put it here on the corner. I still have it, I even overlapped a little bit and I moved it out just a little. Going with 10. Number down here. Move it out a little bit. Number 9. Seven. And I will be right back after I finish this line and show you what to do next. Okay, so I finished doing that side of their piece, and I made sure that all my numbers were all down here. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to make sure all my numbers are on the opposite, so this side. Now I have this left over, so I made sure that all my pieces had glue on the very end of the paper. So I can leave it there, but I can also trim it off, so it makes a clean cut. I'm going to flip my paper over, and now I'm going to start with the number 13, because that's my next one. And for this side, I am going to do the opposite. So I have to do, my paper still matches up there. So this side is no numbers, and my numbers go up top. Because remember when our numbers were all down here, now they're going to be on the opposite. So I always make sure I put glue on all my ends. Number goes up, my nothing goes up, so it's matching this one. See, my design is still matching. See that little orange? 14 out because that was 13. Move that down too far. Do you see how I did that? So I'm just going to pick it up quickly, place it up just a little higher. There we go. Because there is like a little curve that I did. You see that when I went down? So you can do a little curve there. Too big of a space, so a little less, just a little fan. So we're basically making 2 fans. Alright, and I'll be back in the end. Alright, now that you're done, now you're going to go ahead and trim off those end pieces too. And there's your movement. Now you can see that you could probably open a little bigger and fan it out even more. And just remember that when you're starting, you curve down a little bit because you're opening that fan and you're keeping those corners together. So you're creating a fan, and then that way. Alright, and you are all done.